husband and wife, partners in life, family and business.
Through the ups and downs, we've overcome, God as a witness.
From the household of faith to real estate to what's happening now.
We've got something to talk about. So for the next few moments, please allow us
to bring you something you can feel.
It's time for the real talk about real life, nothing but real. Wanna tell the truth, it's on design. Let's be real. Join in, tell your friends, 'cause every now and then we all need a reality check with the Adolphs.
Welcome to Reality Check with the Adolphs. And today is so exciting because we're talking about the amazing world of real estate. As you may or may not know, Willie and I are real estate agents, and in the real estate market in Texas, we have to be sponsored by a real estate broker. We've chose several brokers throughout our career, but this time we've landed on a real jewel. We love him, and I would like to introduce our broker of Equity House Properties, Carl Collins.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So Carl, just a little thing. We want to say thank you for everything that you've done for us, and the things and the upcoming things that are coming our way. And you know, there's many places and other brokers out there, but I think our relationship went back a little bit further. So, you know, we really appreciate a lot of the things and the visions that we see, you see as well, and where you're trying to take your company. And we're 100% behind you. So just know that the Adolphs will ride with you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. There's a distinction between real estate broker and real estate agents. And when a lot of people see us out there, you have allowed us to use our name and become a team under you, but we still go under Equity House Properties.
Right.
What is your distinction of being a real estate broker?
So basically, in being a real estate broker, it just means that you've attained the education that you need. You've also taken the state test, which means that I can now operate as a real estate broker in Texas, whereby agents can actually work for the brokerage. So agents can actually work with us, but I said for us, but not really for us. You're actually working for yourselves. You're branding yourselves as agents in the business, but also it's like a collaborative effort where we work together in trying to help people buy and sell real estate.
Awesome. So what's your experience? Did you just become a broker within the last couple of years? What's your experience in the real estate market?
So I've actually been a real estate broker since 2006. I've been in the business since 1996. Started out in sales as an agent. Since then, becoming a broker, of course, I was happy to have the Adolph team come and join Equity House Properties to help grow the brand. In terms of the overall experience in being a broker, I have the ability to, of course, interact with the agents and help them through different situations that may arise in the transactions, as you guys know all too well.
We know a little bit.
I don't know if you look at a CR number and just like, oh Lord.
No,
that's the
I think we pulled you through a lot of different craziness in real estate.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a broker and as an agent as well, there's a lot of misconceptions out there, such as investors. So can you kind of enlighten us about real estate investing? Do you have to be licensed to be an investor?
So to be an actual investor, you do not have to be a licensed agent. I would say that it's good to have an agent on your side, however, if you intend to invest in real estate. An agent can help you in terms of finding any potential pitfalls before you actually make the investment. Purchasing real estate is obviously a huge decision, whether you're buying your personal residence or if you're investing. You just have to be sure and cover all bases.
So when we're looking at investing, just kind of give us a snippet of, because aren't you an investor as well?
Yes, absolutely.
So as an investor, what are some of the snippets? And you don't have to give us all the meat,
Right.
but just give us, maybe the gristle
Yeah,
of,
right,
of
right.
what you look
Gotcha.
for in a property.
Right. So the one of the main things is always start with the end game. So I want to know where I plan to end up if I do this investment.
Oh, okay.
So for example, am I looking for cash flow? Am I looking for equity capture? It just depends on the end game at the end of the day on whether or not I'll do a project.
Okay.
Also knowing your numbers. So knowing what other properties are selling for in the area is a big part of it as well. So if you intend to do a fix and flip, for example, you want to know that the property will actually be able to appraise for what you're planning to sell it for once you actually rehab the property.
Okay. So unlike I guess the regular real estate then, it's credit. As you're purchasing property, you have to have a minimum credit score. You have to have X amount of reserves. You have to go through all these hoops to actually purchase a home. Is it the same way as being an investor?
So in the world of investment, you don't necessarily need the credit as much as you do in the retail real estate. The investment world actually relies more so on the property itself. So they actually will grade the project instead of the buyer or investor in that case.
So that means if the property is, because we see a lot of signs, buy as is. So what if you open the door and the door falls down? Is that as is?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much as is,
Okay.
And then that may change the way you negotiate your deal with that potential seller.
Okay. So do you have to have liquid capital, I guess? Do you have to have money in the bank? Because, we always hear, there's so many programs where you can buy with 100%. So is that the same with investing? You can buy at 100%?
I'll say it depends.
Okay.
So yeah, it actually depends on the property. Sometimes you can actually get into a property with little out of pocket, and sometimes it'll actually cost you a little more to invest. It just depends on more so on the project than it does the individual.
Well, I saw that they have a government loan or something to invest. Does that help you fix up the house? Is that true?
So as an owner-occupant, yes. There is a 203K loan, which basically is to purchase and rehab the property, but that's if you intend to live in it as your principal residence.
Okay.
Learn new stuff all the time.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up and go to a commercial real quick. We want to continue speaking on real estate and having Carl give us some suggestions and tips on building your real estate portfolio.
So just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Willie Adolph of the Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. I'm here today to talk to you about home purchasing. So a lot of times people want to know, where do we start? When do we start? How much do we need to save? What does our credit score need to be like? Can I really move in now? And the answer is yes. The thing is that you want to get pre-approved first before you even go house shopping, because what you wouldn't want to happen is that you find the perfect home, but the bank won't qualify you for your mortgage. So always get pre-approved first. So find a good lender, which we have a lot of resources for you on that. Second, you want to make sure that anything that's on your credit, if it's something that you can work with, let's work with it, because everything on your credit, it depends on what it is for each mortgage company. And third, once you get that pre-approval, now it's time to go house shopping. Now, Willie, what about the money, the down payment and things like that? Well, they have a lot of programs that's out there. So based on your credit will depend on the down payment assistance that you can receive. But we do have a lot of resources and a lot of things that can help you. And everyone with the Adolph Group will hold you by your hand and walk you through the whole process. So you can contact us at www.theadolphgroup.com or 281-451-7087. And remember, when you have will, you have a way.
'Cause every now and then we all need a reality check with the Adolphs.
Hey guys, welcome back. We were previously talking about investing in real estate. I know that a lot of you out there, you see that everybody is making these millions over the real estate industry, and they're watching these TV shows where you can buy a house, flip the house, sell it, get thousands of dollars back. Well, we're here with our real estate broker, and he sponsors Willie and I. We're real estate agents, and we were having a discussion about real estate investing. So we're going to continue that. I know we had some questions regarding getting financing for real estate investing.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the getting finance for real estate investments, as I said, it works slightly different compared to retail real estate or homes for owner occupants. In the investment world of real estate, the loan is typically based on the property more so than it is the individual borrower.
Okay.
So credit scores are not as important as it is the property itself.
So I can have jacked up credit and still get an investment home?
To a degree. Absolutely. I mean, it can
Hey.
If you got jacked up credit, you need to get that fixed first.
Well, I might need to make the investment, get the cash out, then fix the credit. Hey, easy said.
Anyway.
So what I would say to that is, if you intend to purchase the property, rehab it, and you intend to have tenants in that property, you want to turn it basically from what's considered a hard money loan into a permanent loan. And so once you turn into the permanent loan, you would actually need to have good credit.
Okay.
So you could actually potentially do a fix and flip versus becoming a landlord.
Okay, so I know you're not a lender, but can you explain, I guess, a little bit between a hard money loan and basically a primary residential loan?
Sure. So a hard money loan is basically a loan, it's a short-term loan, typically where the time frame goes from 3 to 6 months. Okay. And the intention is to acquire as well as rehab the home. And then, of course, you would sell the property once it's been rehabbed in terms of the investment side. In regards to a retail loan, basically that's more credit driven. You have to furnish bank statements, check stubs. You have to have verifiable employment history. Typically, they're looking for a score around 620. There are some lenders that may use alternative credit or allow lower credit scores in terms of qualifying you for the loan. But it's all based on government guidelines.
Gotcha. So, what I heard was, I know you need bank statements, check stubs, tax returns, W-2s for residential. So you don't really need all that same requirements for a hard money loan?
No. Yeah, right. Our kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
So
that's really.
So what do you
wait,
need?
wait.
Because
No, there's a
now I
catch.
want some investment properties.
Oh, there's a catch. What are the interest rates like?
Good question.
But that's why I get renters, right?
Well, you have to fix the place before you get rented. So that means you're. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. That means you have to obtain the loan, pay on the loan, fix the place up to get the renters in. So as you're fixing it, what are you going to do? Have them sleep on the mattress or hammering a nail in?
Oh.
So let me help. So with in the investment world, typically the interest rates are from like 9 to 11%.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Like the number 9?
Yes, correct.
Like the number that came after 8 before
Yes.
10?
Yes.
We know about them interest
Absolutely.
rates.
I haven't seen a 9, 10, and
But when we started, we were selling those rates.
we're going to tell our age now.
Okay. Well, I
Right.
can understand because it is a bigger investment because the property 9 times out of 10 is not of
It's not livable.
Yeah, it's not livable.
Right.
So they're investing on the fact that you're going to fix this up and make it livable.
Absolutely.
Is there a higher down payment also with this higher interest rate?
So it'll depend on the value of the property. For example, if you're looking to purchase a home that's worth $100,000 once repaired, you obviously want to get it at a deep enough discount so that there can be room to cover those costs. In terms of down payment can go from 0 to 20%. So it'll depend on the project more so than it will the individual.
So, just to make sure, I'm gonna break it down for me. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I like to kind of.
You're a man.
Hey, I have to understand because I have a one man that wants to have all of it. So
That's
I got to
right.
make sure
That's
I can
right. I
get
gotta
as much
have
as
it
I
all.
can.
Absolutely.
So the question is, okay, so say for instance, it's $100,000 after repairs. I go in for a hard money loan at $50,000. Where's that guideline, or do you know what determines how much I would have to put down? Like, they're going to sell me the property for $50,000. Do I need to put any more money down to get this, knowing it's going to cost me maybe $15,000 to repair?
So again, depending on value, so if you're looking at a $100,000 home that you're buying for $50,000, as part of the overall formula for investment properties, basically lenders look at a percentage of the after repaired value. So typically they'll look at 70% of the after repaired value. That 70% is used for acquisition as well as rehab costs. So that would be your purchase costs plus the amount to rehab. So in which case, in this particular example you shared, the purchase price is $50,000. You're looking at $15,000 in repairs, so you're at $65,000. So now you have $5,000 left to potentially pay your closing costs as well as close the loan with the lender. And so I can tell you 9 times out of 10, that's not going to be enough for you to get in with 0 down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So there will be an investment on your part.
So there it looks like you won't have extra money after all. We're going to have to put that down no matter.
Hush. Before we go into our next commercial, I do want to ask, instead of an investment for renters, what about investment properties for like vacation home or something like that? Is that still a hard money loan, or can I do that personally?
You can actually do it personally. One of the good ways that I, after speaking with a lender, recommended was do it as a second home.
Okay.
If you do it as a second home, they have certain guidelines that the home has to meet in terms of where it's located, but there's also a lower down payment versus a hard money loan, and it's actually a permanent situation. So.
Lower down payment. That's what I like to hear. Keep more money in my pocket. All right. Guys, this has been so exciting. And after the commercial, we're going to go on more information on how you can personally own real estate.
So for the next few moments, please allow us.
To bring you something you can feel.
It's time for the real talk about real life, nothing but real. Wanna tell the truth, it's on design. Let's be real. Join in, tell your friend, 'cause every now and then we all need a reality check
With the Adolphs.
Welcome back to Amazing World of Real Estate. In this episode, we are talking about real estate investing, loans, and now let's get to the good part, credit repair, credit restoration. And Willie, I heard through the grapevine that you help others with credit restoration.
Wow. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do. So I want to clear myths that's out there. One is that if you get something erased off your credit, that means, I don't owe it no more. No, credit restoration is basically, it takes off inaccurate, unverifiable, and obsolete things. Obsolete things mean things that are old. Another myth is in 7 years, things just going to fall off. So let me ask you a question. 7 years ago, what did you say you was going to stop doing? What did you say you was going to start doing? I don't remember either. So guess what? It doesn't just fall off your credit. You're going to actually have to call it in, write it in, and ask them to request it off. So with the credit restoration, it's basically cleaning up your report to make sure that everything on there is accurate and verifiable. So that means you can't charge up a lot of stuff and not pay your bills.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
So, Carl, because of your experience in the real estate market, how have you noticed that people, that the actual regular average Joe qualify for a loan? I remember Willie and I, we started loans in 2003, and we were loan officers. Mm-hmm. But how have you seen it personally, how people qualify with loans based on their credit scores?
Mm-hmm. So typically, I find that the 620 is where many of the homeowners have to qualify according to government guidelines. So those are just guidelines that are set forth from the beginning, so we know initially where the buyer needs to be in terms of qualifying. Okay. There are a host of other things that are required in terms of qualifying for a loan. One being your credit history, of course, your job history, verifiable income, verifiable assets. So those are a few things that are.
And you said job history. What if, like in these times of the pandemic, I've been laid off, but I found another job doing the same line of work. Is that going to hinder me from purchasing a home?
No, as long as you're in the same line of work, it's okay that you move from different companies and things like that, as long as you do the same type of work.
Okay.
So if you're in the same industry, if you will, then it's not a problem. If you change industries, that's when you have problems.
If I go from a teacher to a hotel manager, even though I'm making more money?
Yes. Yes, because what the lenders are looking for, again, as part of the guidelines, is that you have a 2-year verifiable history and you have done that job for at least 2 years. Mm.
So like your credit, you got to be consistent.
Mm. Absolutely.
So basically it all boils down to credit. Well, Willie, what if I pay off everything, then all of a sudden I'm going to have good credit, right?
Well, there's a yes or no answer to that. Paying off everything doesn't mean you have good credit, because now you may not have any credit. And based on credit is your scores is based on your utilization of credit. So it all determines on what do you have open and revolving, how much of it towards your high balance. Technically, you have to stay within a 30% of each of your high balance of your credit cards. So example, if you have a $300 credit card, you don't want to spend over $90. But credit does have a big factor into purchasing a home. And those are some of the things that we all have to be more mindful and, cautious about. Even though during the times now, people are getting laid off. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, some bills don't get paid. But unfortunately, we have to find different means of getting it taken care of. And like I said, just because you can erase it off your credit report doesn't mean that you don't owe it.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What I do have a question about is I've heard so many things about, because we're saying credit, but down payment assistance programs. Mm-hmm. How do I qualify for that, and what are those? How do they help me in purchasing a home?
So the down payment assistance programs basically help the borrower in terms of their out-of-pocket costs. Okay. So there are different organizations. Firefighter Next Door is a program, Teacher Next Door programs for folks in those industries, whereby they get assistance for their purchase to basically reduce their out-of-pocket monies in terms of purchasing that property. So it can help with closing costs, down payment, prepaids, which will set up the escrow account to pay taxes and insurance. So those, the programs can assist those.
So I do have a question. As an investor, and unfortunately, you know, the way things may turn in the real estate world, foreclosures, things like that, is that something that investors look for as well?
Yes, that is a an investment tool that a lot of investors will probably begin to utilize. But more importantly, it's a situation to where these homeowners are in a situation to where they need help. So people need help now, and that's where the investors can step in and do some creative things to actually help them out of a situation that they may be in.
And another thing, as an agent, how can we help? You know, I'm not like real sharp and keen on short sales. You know, that can actually help in a situation as far as credit as well. But as an agent, how can a short sale help a homeowner?
So a short sale can actually help a homeowner because that will eliminate them having a foreclosure on their credit. It will basically allow that homeowner to sell their home short, whereby they're not going to make any money at the close of the sale. And again, it saves their credit, more importantly, for their move.
Oh, because that mortgage gets paid off and they can be able to move to another home. Would that affect their credit score?
Well, yes, it will affect, because in a sense it's still going to show as a pre-foreclosure due to the length of time, but it's also going to be the way that the mortgage company reports it on the credit report. So it's a yes and no type of deal, but you definitely don't want foreclosure to be on your credit, because it can definitely hurt you to purchase a new home. So from, you know, when you go to your lender and you have a foreclosure, talk to them about the guidelines so you know when and how long it takes to purchase a new home.
Oh, very interesting. I'm excited about this episode, and I cannot wait until we get into more episodes on real estate. Again, Willie and I are real estate agents. We have a book that we've written on how to purchase a home. We also have books and guides on helping you to sell your home as well. So don't forget to join us for future episodes on real estate, and of course, future episodes of Reality Check with the Adolphs. Thank you, and have a super blessed, amazing day.
Husband and wife, partners in life, family and business.
Through the ups and downs, we've overcome. God as a witness.
From the household of faith to real estate to what's happening now.
We've got something to talk about.